These two news broadcasters probably clocked into work that day expecting to report the news, not to be a part of it. However, that's exactly what happened when out of nowhere, a large earthquake occurs right when they're on air. A powerful 7.3 magnitude earthquake has rocked northeast Japan, prompting authorities to issue a tsunami warning. The earthquake was preceded by a 6.4 magnitude one in the same area, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. Shocking footage shared on social media shows the violent shaking of homes in Miyagi and Fukushima prefectures. This video from inside this young girl's bedroom shows just how utterly terrifying it would be to experience an earthquake even in a place as comforting as your own room.
Oh shit.
It just goes to show you that in an earthquake, nowhere is ever truly safe. This scary video from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico shows a shocking 7.5 magnitude earthquake making its way through the area. The uploader notes that while the incident was certainly scary for everyone, nobody ended up getting injured, thankfully. At first, he thought it was a small tsunami, but within moments, he escapes to save his life. This boater had a near-death experience when he crashed the boat right into this blockage in the water. This poltergeist is ravenous, and YouTuber NM Ghost Hunter saw him rummaging through his refrigerator for some food, but he appears to be upset about it. He acts out once more after a little break in the door slamming, but he leaves the door open this time. It seems to me that this YouTuber actually has an irate poltergeist on his hands. I don't understand how this could be a scam, and it will be expensive. What a waste of power. These sports fans came to the rescue of this kitty who was hanging from this balcony, not having a very good grip. Eventually, the cat lets go, but is luckily caught by some fans down below. This shocking video shows the moment in which this train collided head-on with another train. These two drivers clearly weren't paying as much attention to the road as they should have, as this video documents. The one vehicle is inched way too far out in the road, and the driver recording the incident definitely misjudged the amount of room he had, ultimately ending up in a collision. This sinkhole in Japan opened up on November 8, 2016, just after 5 a.m. local time.
ちょっとあれに送りましょうか。
Thankfully, it opened slowly, allowing people to evacuate the area before it all caved in. Japanese officials have stated that the cause of the sinkhole was construction work on an underground line. This 2013 video from Oklahoma shows a terrifying inside-the-tornado point of view of this horrifying natural disaster. This video shows the moment two trains collide with one another in the middle of broad daylight. On December 18, 2022, a disturbing dashcam video captured the moment in which a shocking car accident occurred on a snowy road.
Absolutely love it. It's super clutch. I hear you like it as well, and obviously it's sold very well throughout the year. This is a super tiny
In September of 2014, a group of people went to the top of the Menara Kuala Lumpur Tower to go base jumping. One woman filmed her jump with a helmet-mounted camera, and things suddenly took a turn for the worse.
Hey, Brett, do you know any good jokes?
Yeah, I do. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Woo!
Woohoo!
As soon as she opened her parachute, it twisted and tangled to the point where the steering handles were not accessible. Thankfully, the woman suffered no injuries. Even though this video is clearly old, it's still worth seeing. A webcam captured his father and daughter's disastrous elevator ride. The video starts off very simply. They proceed to exit the elevator as it operates as planned. The door, in a startling turn of events, appears to open on only half a level. While they appear to escape unharmed and undamaged, they only have a short amount of time to do so. Just in time for them to exit the elevator before it spins out of control, the elevator starts moving on its own. It advances independently, a little too quickly, and ultimately seems to hit the building's ceiling because the entire inside crashes and starts to disintegrate. While the two at the beginning of the video couldn't have predicted this, they were aware of a problem by the time it got to that point. I wonder whether they ever realized how vulnerable they truly were to failure. Perhaps it's simply preferable to remain ignorant. Some people have a genuine curiosity for what occurs while they sleep and how the world functions. For one Portland woman, though, it is a gravely unsettling intrusion. At an apartment building, a man wanders around the apartments as a woman is sleeping, looking through the family's possessions and taking some of them.
He loaded up virtual reality headset, a game system, brand new shoes that my son had for his first day of school.
Too calm is the thief. There is no rush or panic. He enters and exits without making a scene. If not for the missing belongings from her son's room, the mom would not have discovered the intruder.
Check the camera, and I see this man waddle out of my room with a pillowcase full of my stuff.
They checked the security camera in response to those objects, and that is when she discovered that she had an intruder trespass thus close to their bedroom while she slept soundly. The same invader was shown on video taken by a neighbor's security camera as he ambled casually towards her home. Little more than the footage from outside her porch indicates that he probably didn't enter, but it's spooky and frightening, and neighbors are banding together to keep an eye out because the suspect hasn't been apprehended by the police yet. Several children are singing and playing music when all of a sudden they are ghosted. TikToker Creepy Fasta shared this. Although I was unable to locate the original source, I believe that this is a re-upload. Secondly, I noticed that a chair behind them has dropped what I believe to be an instrument. The guys see it and change it. While it's possible that this was an accident, what happens afterwards appears to be on purpose. I would also be rushing out of there. In Texas, there are a lot of people ringing doorbells and running around, including cows, mothers who are leaving their kids behind, and now, a nude man. Without waiting for an answer, the man abruptly leaves after casually approaching the family's door and presenting his entire face to the doorbell camera. Everyone can see his exposed behind. Not only that, the homeowner claims that the guy had earlier requested the wife to remove her clothes and placed himself up against the bedroom window. He needs assistance as soon as he leaves because he must be mentally ill to be shambolically wandering the streets. Drug misuse might also be to blame, but until he is apprehended, no one will know. It's never fun to have a girl break up with you, but you're strong enough to get over it. But when even the home turns its back on you, that is simply too much for you to bear. Serbian Redditor SufficientWish3111 had an odd experience as their neighborhood gym in Belgrade. Their radio was being messed with by a ghostly gym rat. The Redditor states that this is something that has never happened before and shared it to the Chills narrator community. Just observe, the volume fluctuates erratically in both directions. It rapidly descends. I'm not sure what this could be, however, it could be an old radio with bad wiring. I'm certain I would end the day.
Музыки?
Is it conceivable that aliens, like us humans, enjoy Halloween? The U.S. Navy recorded some intriguing video of a UFO over the ocean in San Diego on Halloween night. The UFO is seen in the footage hovering back and forth as Navy trackers keep tabs on it. Then it descends into the water while hovering. After it was revealed that the footage had been captured by a U.S. Navy destroyer, the Pentagon said it had been obtained by a documentary maker.
There is more that could be shared, will be shared with Congress for certain. I don't see that coming to the public soon.
Look behind you before you take your next dance selfie. Charlie Croy from YouTube posted this spooky clip of a girl dancing in her automobile, but the real action takes place behind her. Keep a watchful eye. What did you see? She also appeared halfway through her dance. She notices an eerie pale shape her face. To her left, there appears to be a frightening scream face. Then it appears to vanish. This appears to be either a scary reflection that was caught in the motion of the subject, or death itself. She'd better quit dancing either way. This worker's sole responsibility was to install the final pipe and exit the warehouse. But, as you're about to discover, it did not turn out to be the case at all in the end. There's not much else that is known about this video, but based on what we do know, we can probably infer that it is safe to presume that this worker was terminated as a result of this occurrence. Like many other clips, this one gets off to a slow start. The man in blue enters the frame, ducks behind the logs, and then dashes into the forest. He makes several stops along the way and occasionally uses a stick to help him go along. The identity of this person, their age, and the specifics of what occurred are all unknown. He struggles to walk, much like an elderly person might, given the impression that he was once an older guy. It, however, is just temporary. He not only gets up after wrapping himself up, but he does so without even using his arms when he rolls down the hill. What's going on with that is not entirely obvious. Several people think he was using drugs, which would explain his erratic conduct. What do you think, though? Stay tuned for our number one pick that will shock you. Many people's biggest nightmare is becoming stuck in an elevator, but if that does happen, the last thing you want to cope with is fear of drowning. These young kids experience this terror firsthand.
It's just crazy because you only see this in a movie. You don't see someone trapped in an elevator every day with water filling up.
This group descended during a severe storm in Nebraska to investigate the floods. Going down the elevator seemed to have been a mistake, though, as the little box suddenly started swiftly filling with water, putting them on the verge of running out of room and air. They were submerged to their necks, unable to escape, and dubious of their chances of doing so.
Honestly, I would say this is number one, the most scariest thing in my life. Yep. Hands down.
Fortunately, they were saved, but not before desperately calling for assistance because they knew they may actually perish if they weren't.
I told them, hey, I'm gonna die in here if you guys don't come and try to do something.
Sometimes it's preferable to hold off on conducting an independent investigation. It may be wiser to simply remain where you are if it is safe to do so. Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, friends.